3 years?
Actually, I'll have my 30 in November of 2019.
Really? 2 years?
Yeah.
Just over 2 years.
Yes.
Wow.
But I'm shooting for, my goal is April 2020.
Oh, so you're going to stay a little longer than 30.
Might as well stay here during the winter.
So are you going to retire here, or are you going to go somewhere else when you retire?
Well, my wife and I actually spent last weekend in the Vernal area.
Oh, that's right. You were talking about Vernal. I forgot about that. Yeah. Looking for property or to build a cabin on, kind of a thing?
Just, whether it's in the city or whether it's just out a couple of miles.
So what's the appeal of Vernal?
It's still kind of it's a little big town. I mean, there's nothing around it other than
Oh, it's a scanner. Yeah.
So is it because you'll have access to more wilderness areas, or?
you have access to more wilderness. Well, you're not in here we're in a valley. Okay, we're going to go from 500,000 to over 1 million.
Oh, really?
20 or 30 years. And the 500,000 is kind of.
So you don't have to deal with traffic and those kinds of things.
Right. Yep.
Have a slower pace.
But there is more wilderness area. There is slower pace, but there's enough in the town that you don't have to.
There's still a Walmart or something there, probably.
That's Walmart and Lowe's. There's a dozen different restaurants. And,
Is it for the whole building? For all of it. All of it. Wow. I think that'd be a great contract to get. Yeah.
I've got somebody for you. I'll send them your way.
Can you just cash out and we can buy a place now? She's ready to go.
She's ready to go now.
I can tell that they were really joking. Yeah, there was.
I told her, you can move there. I'll just stay in a camper and,
You move to Vernal, I'll stay here.
I'll park a camper in the parking lot out here.
That live in campers out here? Really?
Oh, really? It wasn't hard to.
Out in the bushes? Oh, out front? Oh yeah, yeah. Really?
Just how many viewers? Oh, I didn't.
Huh, interesting.
We have a shower in the basement.
You want to laugh?
So I must be weird or something, but I think it would be kind of fun. Like to have a little, like a little van or something, that you just live out of and drive around the country. Yeah, well, yeah, definitely somewhere warm. I wouldn't want to do it forever, but I think it'd be fun to do for 6 months. North Carolina.
We'd like to welcome everyone to this meeting of the Orem City Planning Commission. I've asked Mr. Iglesias to offer an invocation for us.
Our Father in heaven, we are grateful for this day and for this opportunity that we have to be here on this Planning Commission meeting here in Orem City. We're grateful for the opportunity that we have to serve, and we ask Thee that Thy Spirit may be with us, that we may make smart choices and good decisions in behalf of our city, so that we may maintain a safe and beautiful and business-friendly environment. We're grateful for all that we have, and we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. We remind everyone that this is being broadcast live on YouTube. And let's go ahead and begin item 3.1.
All right, for item 3.1, we have a finalized site plan for Wilson Holdings located at 1330 West, 400 North. Here's a overall shot of it. You can see that they currently have a long skinny warehouse and a square warehouse, and they are hoping to add another one in that big spot there on the left. Here's the actual site plan. It shows you where the proposed building will go, as well as the parking that they are going to stripe in there, and then the little island on the side that will have landscaping. The part along the street there currently has grass. They are going to add trees there, and they're also going to add a little bit of landscaping up on the top right corner of the existing square warehouse. And the Development Review Committee determined that the request complies with the Orem City Code, so we recommend that the Planning Commission approve the site plan for the new warehouse at this location.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Haycock? Is the applicant present?
I'm here representing Wilson. Happy to add anything or answer any questions that you may have.
Anything you want to add?
No, I think it's pretty simple. It's an additional building.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Dudley?
No, pretty simple.
Okay. There are no further questions. Is someone ready to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I move that we approve the site plan for a new warehouse at Wilson Holdings, LLC, located at 1330 West, 400 North in the M2 zone.
Ms. Jeffries has made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second. No, it's your turn. I'll second.
Mr. Cochran seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 3.2.
Item 3.2 is a site plan approval for the Stewart's Lawn Trees and Pests at 391 South Vineyard Road in the C2 zone. It's located about 400 on the corner of 400 South and Geneva Road, but the address is off of Vineyard Road. And located in the C2 zone, this property is not adjacent to residential. There's not nearby residential, and so there were not requirements to notice this to any neighborhoods. Also, here's a look at the site plan they're requesting be approved. The site plan, the site contains a total of about 1.6 acres. The building square foot is just over 17,000 square feet. 13,000 of that is on the main floor, with an additional 4,300 square feet on the second floor. The parking requirement is 59 stalls, and they are providing 69 stalls. Here's a look at the main floor and the second floor floor plans. The proposed elevations consist of brick veneer, split face block, hone block, and aluminum frame windows. The overall height of this structure is 26 feet. The C2 zone currently does not have any design standards that restrict materials, and the restriction on height is 60 feet. The overall site plan complies with the requirements of the C2 zone, and it's our recommendation is staff that the Planning Commission approve the site plan.
Any questions?
You want to go back to the overhead? A couple more. Yeah, right there. As I recall, you said in the pre-meeting that there's an area fenced in. Is that the area on the right? Am I seeing that correctly?
That's correct.
So there will be fence right against Geneva Road, although that's right where the bridge kind of comes down, right? So maybe it...
There's already some existing fence there that UDOT put in on the Geneva Road, and I believe on 400 South. Is that right, Paul? As well. So they're going to add some fencing near the building to complete that and have an area that they can protect their storage equipment.
Okay.
So there's not an additional fence along Geneva Road. That it's the existing fence, and they'll tie into that as they come around.
Correct.
There should be fence already along the Wasatch Mental Health. I'm sure that was part of the plan before, that all had to be fenced in. On the north, on the north side there.
Looks like there's some existing fence shown there.
Yeah.
When they developed that, I'm sure it seemed like because it's a lockdown facility that it had to all have fencing there.
Any other questions? Is the applicant present?
The architect is here, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Is there anything that you'd like to, that either of you would like to add?
Just a quick question. I don't know if it was brought up in the pre-meeting. Notice the bathrooms. There's lockers in the bathrooms. Is that what that's showing? Okay. Okay. And then in the female, I take it the women's bathroom has also maybe 4 lockers. Is that correct? Technicians. Okay. Just asking. I don't think there's a concern on ordinance there.
Which one?
So if you look at the floor plan, if you go.
Yeah. Yeah, which is the first time I've seen it attached like that, which is good.
That's great.
Any other comments or questions? Are we ready to make a motion?
Let's do it.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I move that we approve the site plan for Stewart's Lawn and Trees and Pests at 391 South Vineyard Road in the C2 zone.
Ms. Buxton has made a motion. I will second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 3.3.
Okay, so item 3.3, this is a recommendation to the City Council for a zoning text amendment of Section 22-8-8, Section B, pertaining to the zone development standards for the State Street corridor area. Here's a quick map that shows the parcels impacted by this proposed zoning amendment. This is referred to as the State Street corridor area in our city code. It's basically every C2, C3, and PD zoned parcel within 500 feet of State Street. So the purpose of this proposed amendment, it's a very small but needed amendment to our plans, our city code, is to clarify our zoning text for setbacks along the State Street corridor. And the purpose of our recent design standard update, our ordinance, is to ensure that setbacks and the State Street corridor are as pedestrian friendly as possible. And so we want to encourage our businesses to access and have as much direct pedestrian access to the State Street and State Street sidewalk as possible. And thus, driveways, drive-throughs, and parking are not conducive to this type of pedestrian environment. And so the purpose of this zoning text amendment is to further clarify that parking and drive-throughs need to be located on the side or rear of buildings. The purpose of doing so is to help promote better streetscape, urban design, and walkability, and also eliminate potential points of conflict between pedestrians and traffic. As you can imagine, if someone walking down State Street wanting to access a business, we do not want them to have to cross in front of traffic in order to access and patronize those businesses. So here's, in red, you see the proposed text amendment. This is in the setback section of our State Street corridor area zone ordinance. And it reads as follows: all area within the setback, the area between the building and the back of sidewalk, shall be landscaped and or used as a space open to the public in accordance with subsection 5. And as you may recall, the space open to the public requirement, in order for a project to qualify as having a space open to the public, it needs to meet these following requirements, which are already part of our city code. That is that the area is accessible by the public, it's open and designed to attract activity, it's not raised more than 2 feet above the grade of the sidewalk, it needs to have at least 25% vegetation or seating coverage, and that the provided amenities are permanent in nature, so built-in seating, plazas, fountains, landscaping features, and such. There is a bonus associated with this space open to the public, so we're hoping that as new properties redevelop, that the developers will elect to have that space and help further promote that type of design and activity along State Street. And we want to ensure that it's clear, from an enforcement perspective, but also for a developer who comes to the city wanting to develop, that they understand. There are ways to situate sites with drive-throughs. We're not opposed necessarily to drive-throughs, just along that State Street corridor. We want to ensure that it's kept as pedestrian friendly as possible, so those drive-throughs and driveways would have to be accessible on the other sides of the building. That covers most of my main points. So this is a recommendation to the City Council, as this is a zoning text amendment. I'm happy to answer any questions.
So could they, with this pedestrian area in front of the building, could a property have a driveway that crosses the sidewalk?
Like a driveway access.
Into the back of the building?
Yep, it would the driveway access would go to the side and can access then just like a normal driveway access, but that would be perpendicular to the building and not have the drive run parallel in front of the building.
Right.
So you can still access from the street via car, but the driveway access aisle, after it makes that first cut from State Street, could not then make a 90-degree turn and then go in front of the building.
Right.
And is that specified in the ordinance?
Well, it's specified that all of the area between the building and the sidewalk needs to be either landscaped or one of these spaces open to the public. So we believe that the way that it's written now should suffice in eliminating any other driveways or drive aisles in that area.
would be nice if you could get all the drive access to the back instead of crossing the sidewalk.
Mm.
Yes, a legal problem, but there's a conflict point there, particularly with the building pulled out close to the side.
Mm. Yep. Yes, we're hoping as those buildings start to be pushed up closer to State Street and we get that urban infill type development, that the cross access easements you'll see those start to pop up in the rear. And so from going in the car from one building to another between parking lots, that would be happening behind the buildings instead of along State Street. So
I think in the past we've looked at some of those bubble out things where it comes down, then it comes out like this so they can turn right, whatever it might be.
Yep.
I think that's part of this, right?
We're looking at bulb out designs as part of a requirement for our side streets. We've already encouraged that and have that as an option, but that's something we're also examining with this next round of design standards updates, whether or not we want to require that. That's still a question we're exploring.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, this is a public hearing, so we'll go ahead and open the public hearing, and if there were any public here, we'd invite them to the microphone. And seeing no one stepping to the microphone, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission. Any last questions? Would anyone like to make a motion?
I can do that.
This is a recommendation to the city council.
I will make a motion that we send a positive recommendation to the City Council for amending Section 22-8-8B of the Orem City Code pertaining to the zone development standards for the State Street corridor area.
Mr. Moulton has made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Ms. Jeffries seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Minutes from the last meeting, which I believe was August 2nd. Were there any comments on those?
They were lengthy. No, just kidding. No.
Okay, I will make a motion that we approve the minutes from the August 2nd Planning Commission meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Ms. Buxton seconds. Excuse me. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Does the director have any comment?
No, I don't, but I would like to ask you all if you have any questions of staff of what you, things that you're concerned about or want to know about the city, ask, and we'll try to answer those.
Okay.
Something different tonight.
The American Crafts sale went out of the Kmart building. Does that mean there's something else interested in that property, or did they just leave?
Have you heard anything, Jason?
We have not been kicked out of rental.
Shoot.
So they probably have a tenant, and they're kind of tight-lipped until, would be my guess.
Carlos will be the first to know.
or the last. Your car's out tomorrow.
Or tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and if they, like Woodbury owns quite a bit of developable commercial property.
They do.
You know, most of it around, you have University Place and then across the street and then the kitty corner over there. I would like to get in their head or look in their forward planning, and I know we couldn't say anything anyway, but I'd just like to see those corners developed as we've discussed the State Street Master Plan. And now that 4th North falls into play, Blue Light owns that particular corner. It would just be fun to see everything move to State Street, just move out following what has been developed.
You'll be seeing from us in the near future a push to do the district, all the districts on State Street. We were proceeding in the beginning to do one at a time, and we decided that's too slow, and so we're going to basically be a little aggressive and do all of them. So we'll do the hub, which we call the hub, the Parkway. We'll do that single, but the rest of them will come all together.
Okay.
And so hopefully during that we'll be able to meet with developers like Woodbury's and others and help them catch the vision of what we're trying to do.
Well,
Yeah. Oh, yes, sorry.
yeah, and that's one of the things, Jason, I think I talked to you about that, McDonald's squeaking in under the new. That could have been, I look at it and I said, that could have been incorporated into a really nice development. There you go.
Okay.
Open space.
I think I said.
Public open space.
Yeah, and that would be nice. But that, to me, it's not a good use of the property. They did, and that's how it is. It's like that quick quack on 1600 North that's going in where the Texaco was. Another one of those. So yes, I'm all for getting aggressive and getting everything done now and in place too. Oh.
Good.
Where's the duck going to be? Right in front.
Yeah, on the wall, there'll be a small monument in front of the building.
With the ordinance now in place, if someone comes in, they have to meet those requirements from this point on, correct?
Yep.
Even though those master plans haven't been prepared, if someone were to come in on the corner of 800 South and State Street with a new development, they would have to meet the requirements.
Mm.
Right.
There is a new building going in on 800 South and State Street. Are they
Yes, but
going to be in compliance with that, with the new ordinance?
Carl, just to elaborate,
Yeah, it's been a couple months.
the design standards are
South
currently in place.
Southeast corner,
Oh,
where Harwood Farms is always.
North orthodontist.
It would just depend on when they pull their permit.
Yeah. The orthodontist came in months ago.
Before that,
Yep.
yeah. But they're right on the corner, so it seems like it'd all be that way anyway. Yeah.
so the landscaping, when you were talking about the corner, like the Barnes and Noble we looked at on 2100 South and 11th East and the Sugar House.
Yes.
Can that be made a requirement that they have that kind of entrance into the building at all?
Their entrance will be
But
on
can we
the
make
side.
the suggestion?
That wouldn't be very feasible for what they're doing, yeah.
For new developments, we're going to, with this, so we're doing another round of design standards. So we're studying it right now, and we're going to propose that later on this year.
Okay.
And one of the things we're wanting to propose is to require corner buildings to have some type of architectural feature or corner access that would help activate those corners. So it's definitely something we're studying and looking at, and hope to get before you soon.
I have a friend named Guido that would be happy. No, I'm just kidding. Talk.
Are we going to be seeing something from Peg again?
Yes.
Most likely we will, yes.
Gonna read
I don't know how soon, but they've been talking a little bit lately.
development by Lake Ridge Junior High.
Apartment complex.
Oh.
Student housing. Are they still going for student housing?
Yes.
Anything on Utopia infrastructure in all of Orem? Have we heard any of that?
Utopia's working on doing a little bit more in Orem. The strategy for the last couple of years has been trying to go to cities that they'd have the opportunity to get a bigger bang for their buck type of a thing. And so they are looking at Orem a little bit. Now, does that mean all of Orem? No. But they're looking at more of sections of Orem right now to come in and do, versus nothing that we've seen in a couple of years. So.
Yeah, they're actually in 3 different locations right now. In Orem, we kind of get an email update of the different cities in the Utopia field that they're working in, and there's 3 locations in Orem that they're working. It's kind of in the southwest area, not the annexation area, but just.
Problem is, there are places you just can't do anything. At this point, I don't care where they're building anymore because it's in my street and it's been there for 10 years.
Mine too.
It's just like, okay, well, hook me up.
Why is that? Is there somebody in behalf of Orem lobbying for us? Because there's 11 cities or communities that are involved?
Sam Lentz is the city councilman that's on the board. And then Jamie also attends those meetings, our city manager. So yeah, there's heavy lobbying on our part.
The other concern I had, or question I guess I had, is in the care tax, in the nonprofit section, those who, is that a vague, or is that pretty? I get a lot of questions about care tax. I'm like, okay, I got to remember what that is for the arts and stuff. But I guess there's been some questions or assumptions that maybe there's been some work around the those who are nonprofits that are receiving some for the arts.
So I'm not following you. A workaround, what do you mean?
Well, just finding ways, loopholes to be, are they really a nonprofit or not, to receive funds?
And I haven't heard anything on that. I know we've tightened up a lot of our funding regulations on the smaller organizations because there was some possible loopholes. We've tightened it up this year before we've given the money out to them.
Okay.
So they have to account for it, basically show us receipts before the money's given to them type of thing.
Right. Because I think back, I don't remember when, but I think it was 2013 when they extended it, right, till the 2024. And then, of course, the political season's here, so everybody goes to whatever person that's working in the city or volunteering in the city, hey, what do you know about this? What do you know about this? I'm like, I think they're pretty smart with their money. I don't think they're just, but...
They can look it up, too, on the city council notes.
Yeah.
It's in there, who's getting what.
Yeah.
Well, that would be turning on your computer and then...
The application
TV ads are a lot easier to believe, right?
The application process is pretty thorough, and they've pretty much got to give us everything about their organization before it's considered. So, whether they're nonprofit, profit, so on.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, if we do this on occasion, then we have time to think about it.
Yeah.
Did I see we're repaving a few blocks of State Street in a week or two?
Yes, UDOT is going to start working on, I believe, the concrete, where the concrete ends, going north. They're going to start repaving at night, basically milling up the thing and putting new asphalt down.
So
welcome to the red cones.
Revisiting again our infrastructure concerning fiber, not mentioning any names, have there been any, other than that company, was an Australian company that came in here that wanted to do the whole thing, and we would have had to bond for it, and of course everybody seems to die about bonds. Have there been any gestures toward the city at all to pick up what infrastructure there is there?
I think I'm sure there's been many companies look at it, but it's not only Orem; it's 11 cities they've got to take.
They've got to take
it's
the thing.
We're all one thing, and that's the problem. So Provo, for example, they had their own fiber, and so Google saw that and said, "Hey, made them an offer. They couldn't refuse, or whatever."
Okay.
But that was just Provo. So if they came to us, they'd have to pick up 10 other cities as well.
Okay.
So, but yes, I'm sure numerous city, businesses have looked at it. No one's gone into detail like the company that did it there a couple years ago.
If they picked up Orem, and all these other communities together, those that have fiber optics now, Utopia, would they be affected?
If somebody purchased the network?
No, those of us that already have it. We've had Utopia forever.
Mm-hmm.
But would that, if it became a citywide thing, would that affect those who already have it? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not following. I'm sorry, you lost me.
Well, I know that company that came in to purchase and went to all of those meetings, met with them. It was such a sweet deal for all 11 communities. But there was that certain segment of our population that were just against everything. And I just thought that now this is me personally, but I just shook my head in disbelief. And here we're still paying for it, and we don't have the benefit of it. And we're still going to pay for it.
Well, Karen does. That's something, right? She does have
Really?
the
You
benefit
haven't
of it.
been?
She does. She
Where's-
actually is hooked up to the Utopia network.
Yeah. So, maybe we can get on.
Karen's just rubbing it
Wait.
in. Yeah, I got it. You guys don't.
And I think by way of another comment, I just, for me personally, I just appreciate what you guys do. And I like being out there. You know, people come and they're asking all the time, well, what about this? You know, some kind of complaints. And I've said on several, especially during this political season, there's a lot of heat out there. I said, well, where were you guys for all these meetings? I never saw you there. You read any of this? Like somebody was complaining to me about, and he's a political guy, ran for Senate against Hatch, you know. He said, a State Street Master Plan. I said, have you read it? You looked at it? No. And that's every person that I ask, every person that comes and talks to me about it. I said, well, have you bothered to read about it? Have you bothered to attend the meetings? Have you bothered to be there and see the whole picture? Not one positive answer in the last 6 months. Not one from them.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, well,
Yeah, well, anyway, I just say
thank you for your service, and that's all I've got.
Thank you. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. In fact, maybe I'll make the motion to adjourn. And so I move that we adjourn. Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That was everyone.
Maybe I'll start looking out.
Yeah, in fact, my wife, days later, she'll be sitting there in the other room and she'll say, hey, I just plowed 5 acres for $50,000.
Really?
She says, how much have you got in your 401?
Oh dear.
Isn't that nice?